Hi, everyone.
Hey,
I'm Alicia,
and I'm Meredith.
and this is It's About the Pasta of Vanderpump Rules podcast, where it's season 10, episode 6, and it was awesome.
I loved it.
No notes.
I'm
Um,
conflicted, is all I'm gonna say.
yeah, I say we get through our intro and then we discuss some things.
Yes.
Okay, so check us out on the A&M Podcast Network. We have this podcast. We have Summer is Fun, a Summer House podcast, and we have One Season Wonders. Please be sure to rate, review, subscribe. Meredith, we have 2 new reviews.
Really?
They're both 5 stars.
Oh my God, I'm gonna
So this has
cry.
been a good week. Okay, so first one is from Kate Donner 091488, and it's titled Yes. And she says, I've watched Vanderpump since the beginning when it premiered with Real Housewives of Beverly Hills.
I
I
mean,
listened,
iconic.
of course. I listened to multiple podcasts, but never listened to any Pump Rules podcasts until this Scandival. I've listened to quite a few. I've listened to quite a few when this all happened, and came across you guys, and you are my favorite by far. I can't wait to watch the season and follow up with the podcast weekly. Love you guys.
Oh, I love that. It's kind of like
Yay.
finding friends. Like, not everybody's a fit, like podcast wise, every style's is so
Yeah.
different that I'm glad you found a good home.
I'm happy you watched it since the beginning. You're an
Yes.
OG. We
Yes.
appreciate.
There's a difference in like OG has watched for a while and then people who started post Scandival.
Exactly. But like, so with Scandival, I feel like we're all rewatching it or looking for eggs or trying to see what a horrible person Tom Sandoval is.
Scumdival
I
is.
almost said
Have you heard that term
word.
yet? Scumdival.
Scandival. No. I love that. But yeah, I just feel like we need this community now because we have to talk about all the Easter eggs. We have to get ready
Bravo's
for the
pushing it
reunion,
hard. It is like all over their app.
which makes me think it's not going to be that good.
I
But
just
they haven't even filmed
I
it.
think they're capitalizing on the interest and I'm all about it. Like, let's grow this community
I
even
think
wider.
that puts a lot of pressure on the reunion to be good because
True.
we're all
Yeah,
gonna
but
watch.
we've got next season, like this happened kind of in an off-season period. Like, we're gonna really be looking at the fallout next season.
I want the reunion first.
I agree. I think it's gonna be epic.
Agreed. So then our second review is from Jessica Molta Goram. And Jessica says, in these unprecedented times, love this podcast. Wish I could take a pill and wake up on reunion day, but since science hasn't gotten there, I'll enjoy this podcast until then.
I
Us too.
uh
If I could, I would too.
What's harder is knowing the reunion film date is March 23rd, and
Mhm.
then we have to wait till probably June. I think that's harder than like knowing when they're filming is actually really difficult for me. We've never really known the exact reunion date.
This is the first time anyone's been like, when will we hear you talk about it? And everyone says the reunion. So now people are like, we
I
can't
know
even enjoy the season
it's
because we know what's
difficult.
after.
I want to skip ahead, which is
I
really
know.
challenging, but it's all right. We'll just be in the here
We'll
and
make it.
now and
We
we'll
got
get the
it.
goods soon.
I'm not that worried. Okay. And then what else? That's it. That's it for reviews. But leave a review, please. 5
Thanks
stars.
so much. We really appreciate it. Those were so nice.
Follow us on Instagram at Vanderpasta. I'm back doing tweets. I feel revived from whatever
Yeah.
death Scandal gave me. And then join our Patreon, patreon.com/Vanderpasta. Let me tell you what you can get. For $1 a month, you get access to all of our fun pre-shows that Meredith and I do. We talk about whatever we want. And then also you'll get access to any episodes we record early, including this one. And it'll drop on the Patreon first.
Yeah, the live seasons, actually, we have a good schedule now and we're able to record them pretty early. So get it ASAP Rocky.
Oh my God. Boo. Okay. Then for $2 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned. Plus, you get access to our after shows that we do when we go back and we watch old seasons, which is not now because we'll just talk about Vanderpump news on the podcast. And
Yep.
it doesn't matter. And then also we'll say your name on the podcast. So thank you to Chris, Danae, Dee, Dustin, Gabriella, Jackie, Jamie, Casey, Katie, Kelsey, Chrissy, Sarah, Cameron, Tierney, Tiffany, Tonette, Tracy, Amy, April, Courtney, Emily, Gina, Jennifer, Kirsten, Christina, Ruby, and Taylor.
I mean,
I did it.
I know everybody because we read these every time, but I like it still feels I feel like the Grinch. My heart grows in size every time you read that list.
Ew.
It's so corny, but I just love it. Like it's so cool.
I love it
I'm in
so
shock
much
every time.
I'm so happy they're here. I feel like the more people that join, the more like friends we have. That sounds stupid, but it is.
It's like only fun to like be able to talk amongst each other. And so that makes it like a smaller group.
So fun.
And people like talk back and forth a little bit on the comments.
Exactly. So then for $5 a month, you get access to everything I just mentioned. Plus, for live shows, you get to give us your thoughts, your questions, your concerns, your whatever, and we'll read them on the podcast. I obviously posted. I can never forget again because I don't want to get fired. But we got some stuff, and then also we'll pick a patron of the episode. So we have a new patron. She gave us some thoughts.
Yay!
And we're picking Tierney.
Woohoo!
Like I said, new, gave us thoughts. Can't wait to read them.
Pre-episode or post-episode?
I don't remember.
That's okay. That's okay.
Sorry.
That is totally fine.
I think maybe both.
I want to know when to be most excited for the new thoughts and opinions.
Both.
Yes.
So we have a lot to get through. Anyway, Meredith, first you want to do Vanderpump news. What's been happening since we last chatted about Vanderpump Rules?
Yeah, we kind of have a lot. Weird. This is a weird comment. I don't know why I wrote this first, but I'm pretty sure this episode was like an hour and 15 minutes, which I thought was
and
odd.
On Twitter were like, "Oh, Bravo said it wasn't edited," but I bet it was because
I don't think it was
15 minutes.
And what I realized is I don't know if they're going to re-edit them because the cast got all the episodes to watch for the reunion. So I don't think that they would re-edit them. Minutes. Yeah. Like if they're going to show stuff that they wouldn't have normally, I think they would try to re-edit them quickly. But that'd be too much work because they'd have to get them all to the cast for the reunion.
That's true.
Logistically. We got Ariana's statement.
We did.
She didn't address the two horrible people, and I'm happy she didn't. She just addressed like how difficult this has been, how she's so thankful for support. It was so sweet, and she looked fucking incredible.
So good.
In that dress.
My little baby.
Yeah, and she looked happy, but that just kind of goes like to show how deceiving like Instagram and pictures can really be.
Yeah. Yes, that happened. We're very happy. I liked how she ended it with "What doesn't kill me better run." I think that's so fucking badass and genius.
I loved it. The whole statement was really well thought out. You know, could totally tell us from the heart, unlike some other statements we have seen.
Yes. But so I've been listening to every Scandal podcast episode I can get my hands on. I listened to Shenanigans with Lala and Kristen.
I've seen some of it on TikTok, so I'm curious to hear.
Yeah, what I've learned is you have to follow where Kristen is.
Yes,
she's the only one that's not under contract, so she can say whatever she wants. Whereas Lala and Scheana even like started her podcast and was like, "Okay, everyone wants us to talk about Ariana, but we can't. We have to wait." And Kristen's just like, "I could if I wanted to, but check out my
Kristen
podcast."
Does on other people's.
Check out my other podcast instead. Like, because Kristen put out a podcast. So very funny. I do have criticism for Scheana really quick. She's the episode
on the podcast from her podcast.
Her podcast. The episode starts out with saying, "Okay, let's get into some shenanigans." And then the music plays. And then she goes again, "Okay, we're getting into some shenanigans." And I was like, double intro just sucks.
Because she probably pre-recorded the first one and uses it every time, but then accidentally probably redid the intro.
Immediately hated it.
Yeah.
I found it really interesting to listen to the dynamics of Scheana and Lala's friendship because we know that one ebbs and flows, but it's currently going really well.
Yeah.
So interesting. Apparently the whole group is very frustrated that Katie and Scheana have beef because it makes
Kristen
it harder
talked about that on the Nick Viall podcast.
Yeah, but Scheana said on hers that she's not gonna apologize. But Katie's probably expecting an apology, but Scheana also expects an apology. And Kristen was like, I hold out hope that they can be friends, but
Nick, I like Nick Viall's podcast with Kristen, where they kind of both agreed that in order to get through this bump in their friendship, they both have to be really humble, apologize for their part without saying, but you did this to me. Like, they just need to be apologetic for their piece of it.
Yeah.
Which I think it'll take much more growth and time to move past this one.
I think Scheana would have to go first. And she's not gonna.
I kind of agree too. Because Sheena's thing came first, if that makes sense. Like, in Katie's mind, she's going to be like, well, I retaliated, which isn't right.
I don't know. I mean, like, listen, like, I don't know. Who cares?
It's dumb.
Any other news?
A few other things. A lot of people have been talking about the reunion, what will happen with Scheana and Raquel, or Rachel, because of the restraining order. There is rumor talks about Scheana or one of them being on Zoom. The only thing is the other whoever's in person cannot be there when the other person is on Zoom. So it's very tricky because they have it like with a restraining order, there's no contact order.
Yeah.
Like I spoke about earlier, like technically they could get around this, but Rachel's not going to do that.
No, Rachel wants to be zoomed in, and people are tweeting like, I think Scheana needs to take one for the team.
I agree,
girl. Like, listen, Scheana, we love you. Honestly, if you take one for the team, I will be. Katie should apologize first. I will go there and I will die.
I will reactivate my Twitter and I will every day tweet at Katie to apologize to you.
Katie, apologize to Scheana. Katie, apologize to Scheana.
Zoom Scheana in just for the Katie Scheana, drama, and then. Sorry, Scheana, you just can't be a part of the rest of it.
Yeah. That's great because technically Sheena's already made Raquel answer for her sins to her.
Yeah.
But also, Kristen did say that Scheana did not punch Raquel.
Which she goes,
come on, it's Scheana. And I was like, yeah.
I actually, especially when she talked about her nails, like Sheena's nails are really long. She really can't make a fist.
Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? Imagining Scheana punching Raquel in the face, I can't see it. I can see Scheana trying to grab the phone and like those long nails nicking Raquel,
Yeah, I don't think it was a punch.
Favorite thing about that conversation that Kristen and Nick had about the Scheana alleged punching is that Kristen was like, listen, I took a backhand and I didn't press charges. And I was like, no, exactly.
I do. Kristen, though, did say, I'm going to sue you. And Sassy does that. Oh, you're going to sue me. And I was like, Kristen, shut the fuck up. But I appreciate Kristen talking about it. I love when Kristen talks about like, this is not Ariana's bad karma, which she did on the Nick Viall podcast. Like, we should not be like, oh, but Ariana cheated and blah, blah, blah. Like, Kristen has said these relationships are totally different. It's like your high school relationship versus like your adult relationship. Like, it's different.
Yes.
These kids were literally like 21 when they started dating. That's a different relationship than when we're 29, 30 getting houses
and buying a I 100% agree.
So because
like cheating's not good either way.
No.
But the scenario and how bad it hurts and like everything that means for the aftershock of it. And if
Kristen ain't mad, you can't be mad either. But I think people who are just hopping on now, because when I talk about it, someone will go, yeah, but didn't Ariana cheat with Tom on Kristen?
They look at it like, oh, the hypocrisy. And it's
but you need to watch the show if you're going to judge this because it's not the same. Also, why aren't we talking about the man that cheated on both his girlfriends?
Yeah.
It's not Ariana and Kristen were not fucking friends when this went down. Like,
and a difference is that like Ariana and Kristen, is that what you just said? Ariana and Kristen weren't friends?
Yeah, they weren't fucking friends.
I mean, like if you're going to compare it to a cheating thing, I would compare it to the similar triangle of Kristen, Stassi, and Jax. But again, that wasn't a 7-month affair. Like, there's so many nuances to the present day one.
Kristen and Jax didn't even kiss. Okay. It wasn't even real.
Even weirder. It's like the finger bang on Summer House.
Oh, awful. Any other news?
Last thing is that we did get a sighting in this episode of Sandoval's lightning bolt necklace. Katie has mentioned, I think she mentioned it on Watch What Happens Live, that Sandoval did wear this necklace before the affair. Like, this was a thing for him, and this was like a Tom thing and his band thing. So it's like a Raquel added on thing.
What
so
if
we're
Raquel...
gonna see the necklace, and you might see the necklace in past episodes prior to this one and like other things, but or in like Instagram posts. That doesn't, the Sandoval wearing the necklace is not the timeline for the cheating.
What if Raquel just bought herself a necklace and was like a lightning bolt necklace and was like, look, we're in
that's
love.
actually so sad. That's so...
Fuck her. No, fuck
Can you
Rachel.
imagine buying yourself a necklace for your own relationship, being like, now we can match?
Yeah, like, but Rachel just does it. I'm like Sandoval would have gotten her something else.
No, he never would have gotten her anything like that.
No, because he's a narcissist.
Exactly.
Whatever. Okay, let's do podcast by the people.
Let's hear it.
I just love to read these when people are excited. Jackie said, I'm going to watch probably 10 times to catch all the Easter eggs of Fidelity. Yeah.
I've heard it starts after this, after Havasu.
That look, I know the editors just edited, but that look at the end, I was like, horrible.
I know.
Anyway, Terry says, I cannot wait for this. I will watch it Thursday after work and give me all the popcorn.
Hell yeah.
Literally. Okay. And D wrote, I've been a longtime listener, as you are my favorite for VPR and Summer House / Winter House. You're hilarious, and I love your banter. I had to hop in for the $5 Patreon membership with all the VPR drama going on. My apologies in advance for this long comment, but my brain has been nonstop since Friday, March 3rd.
Let it out. Like,
where were you?
That's a good question. D, comment and let us know where were you when the news broke.
Since before this information broke, I've been saying to my roommate, wow, they're really giving Raquel a bad edit this season. I thought it was because her actions towards Katie were so terrible and she deserved to be outed as a D and S terrible person.
I will never. Thank God James gave us that at the beginning of the season.
The D word or the S word, but she's not thinking things through. He's my favorite. My TikTok is all like James' best moments.
All right, you keep sending them to me, but I keep already getting them, and I just don't comment on them.
They're so good. Okay. D says, now I'm wondering who in production and editing knew about the scandal of it all. I am convinced that's why she's being shown in such a bad light, or maybe she's been getting the edit she deserves. There is a leak in production, as Kristen said.
Yeah, but that's
about the
recent
kiss. I know, but what if this is just the same leak?
I don't think Raquel is like quote unquote getting the bad edit, kind of like Scheana did that one season.
No, because truly I felt kind of bad for Raquel at one point in this episode.
No, on this episode, yes, I felt for her, and that's why I said I was conflicted whenever we started recording. But I like the things we're seeing of Raquel actually doing, like, she's actually doing those things.
She's actually doing it. Yeah.
It's not like they're chopping together weird phrases. She literally admitted to Katie that she asked Schwartz to kiss.
That's true.
So I think she looks bad because of her actions. I think her being single for the first time in, what is it, like 5 years?
Yeah.
I don't know how long her and James have been together. I kind of can't remember, but it's been a while. I think it is really difficult, and she's not doing well with it. Like, she doesn't know how to navigate this singlehood, and that's kind of why she probably got into some trouble with Sandoval.
Meredith will be realistic. My conspiracy is there's a leak.
I think she's just having shitty action.
That's why I said you are the realist. Yeah. My conspiracy is there's a leak. Period. Point blank.
She sucks.
Okay, so
on her own. She doesn't need help. Is what I'm saying.
There's a leak. Okay, so D also says, obviously both Tom and Rachel are absolute monsters, but when people say, why does everyone blame the woman more than the man in these situations? If my boyfriend cheated on me with a friend, I'd be way more mad at the friend. Maybe a tainted outlook, but a lot of guys are dogs. Tom has always been a dog, but the string of a friend doing this too feels so much worse than a guy cheating on his girlfriend. Regardless, they're both assholes and they both deserve equal blame. I feel something about this. So I agree. I would be way more mad at the friend, but I think Ariana and Tom have been, well, I know they've been friends longer than Ariana and Raquel. Mm-hmm. So I think they built the friendship first. So I like, if I were to get a boyfriend, whatever, and then Meredith hooks up with him, I'd be way more mad at Meredith because I've known her for so long and we have this close connection. And I think most people meet their friends before their boyfriends.
Yeah.
So
and like your friends are the ones who are going to help you out of this situation. So the fact that then you like don't have one of your quote unquote best friends around to help with the fallout of it, it's losing two people rather than one. In like a normal cheating sense, it would just be one. And I think you should just blame the man if it was a rando girl.
They both are assholes.
For different reasons.
I think we as people are putting the blame on Raquel because that's how we would feel. But Ariana, I don't know. She probably equally hates them both, which is fine. But I think that's why a lot of the cast members are kind of like, fuck Rachel, but like, fuck Tom.
Yeah. They're like, okay, she's a DNS. He's a piece of shit.
Yeah, like, literally. So she says, I keep thinking back to the season when Tom is whining that he and Ariana are in a dry spell and he's complaining to Jeremy and says something along the lines of, could she even be mad if I slept with someone else when we haven't had sex in the past month? Something he always said when he cheated on Kristen in earlier seasons. He showed us his true colors and thoughts on relationships for years. I don't know why anyone has been Team Sandoval before this news broke. It was me. I was manipulated by this narcissist.
Well, there also were like quote unquote worse guys in the earlier seasons doing worse things. And so the shadow of terribleness, like Sandoval got to just stand in their shadow.
Also, we all kind of hated Kristen. So like it didn't seem that bad
really
that he said bad
things about at all the Kristen stuff.
It's me. It's me.
Especially because we're in a different place in the world. You know?
Yeah, it was me. I was the problem. No one listened to our episodes before this. God, please. I shit on Kristen
that was like
so
true to the times of when we watched
it was true to the times. Yeah, and I think we watch it right as we don't know. So
and we were less harsh than if we would have recorded them in like 2013, 14.
Oh, I would have
like hated you Kristen. Imagine.
I also think some of the shit he says is just outlandish. Like all these characters say like James says the craziest, rudest shit.
Yeah.
But like I think it's so funny because it's so outrageous. And I think that if I literally heard my friend's boyfriend go like, she couldn't even be mad because we haven't slept together in a month, I'd literally be like, what the fuck did you say? And start laughing. Okay, last thought. I've always believed that he did sleep with Miami Girl and that he and Ariana had an agreement to move past it off camera and to never admit it. She obviously was going to stay with him regardless if it was true. She probably didn't want outside judgment, so she played up the storyline that it didn't happen to protect him and also herself from criticism. Wow. I mean, like maybe not. I do think now he fucked Miami Girl. I also though don't want to be like Ariana was totally going to stay with him because whatever. So she
was willing to be like manipulative on their edit. Like, I don't know that it has brought a bigger question mark in my mind about that whole situation that I'm just like, oh God, that's messy.
I truly don't know if Ariana would, maybe she just didn't want to know, right? The relationship was still kind of new. Maybe she was like, I believe my boyfriend other than this girl that wanted me to get hit with a Mack truck.
I was about to say, her and Kristen were in a really bad spot. So to be honest, just her defensiveness against Kristen is so much greater than probably being upset with Tom.
Exactly. Okay, that's it for before. Are we ready to go into the episode?
Let's dive in.
Okay. So previously on Vanderpump Rules, Katie's planning a girls trip, but she didn't invite Scheana. Raquel asked Schwartz to make out and told Katie about it. The Toms are struggling with money, so Lisa made them an offer to get their money back from Tom. Lala hasn't had sex since Ocean. The girls meet Oliver in Vegas. Lala thinks Oliver's hot, but so does Raquel. So Raquel makes out with Oliver. Did I get it? Great.
Yeah. What a great Vegas trip thus far.
So we're in Vegas. We're in Vegas, Paris. The girls are back at their suite. Raquel is drunk as a skunk. She was struggling with her shoes.
I think this is kind of fun.
She's like talking to herself. It's very funny.
It's funny because the juxtaposition of what we're getting on Summer House is not this, that I'm like drunk people. I'm like, hell yeah.
I did though roll my eyes. I rolled my eyes a lot because she's dumb and stupid. I'll say the words this time.
I know. It's just funny because they left her in the hallway.
Oh my God, they ditched her.
Like what?
Raquel said she doesn't do many girls trips, but she's having the best time. Raquel also is self-proclaimed wild and free and fun.
It's hard to not watch it through the like what we know now lens, because I'm just like,
Oh, I know.
I don't want you wild and free and like this wild and free and fun.
Oh, I know. It's almost like when she's like wild and free and fun, I'm like, oh, like every time it's just, oh.
Yeah. Also, her saying she really hasn't done many girls' trips, that makes me wonder if she struggles to connect with girls.
Yes. Yes.
It just, I don't know. It's hard for me to trust girls who can't be girls.
I agree. Okay, so Lala and Katie are laying in bed. Christina Kelly joins. We get Raquel. She can't find a fork or knife, or she doesn't know how to microwave her food. She's
This
super
reminded
sloppy.
me of Kyle, but like not in a good way.
Not in a good way, because Raquel, she wasn't as funny. She's like, praise Lisa Vanderpump for this food. Like, that's something obvious you'd say.
I agree. I want her to be like, get in my belly.
Yeah, something like fun. Like, not that it sounds like, oh, this would be a good line from Summer House or for Vanderpump. Okay, so we talk about how Raquel was super sloppy tonight, which makes Lala think she wouldn't trust Raquel after one too many drinks. The girls also wonder, like Katie and Christina are like, oh, what'd she do tonight? And Lala's like, she totally made out with Oliver. So Raquel walks in and everyone calls her Miss Makeout with Your Man. Oh wait, this is still before Raquel's back. They call her Mrs. Makeout with Your Man or whatever. And Katie says these situations are different, but there's a lot of comparisons that what happened with Schwartz happened with Oliver. Like, we can see it.
Which I don't like this comparison as much, because they talk about it in the sense of like, oh, Oliver was Lala's, when nothing has happened. I do find it like a red flag that Lala says she's into Oliver and Raquel wants him, but the conversation did happen at the club. So these are kind of
Katie and Christina don't know about the conversation. Christina Kelly.
That is true. But even without the conversation, it sucks whenever your friend inevitably goes after the guy you want, but that is not the same as your friend trying to kiss your legal husband, future ex-husband. Yes. Like that's a little touchier.
Agreed. So now Raquel's back with her leftovers. She's actually a fucking idiot, but Katie then asks if Raquel kissed a guy tonight. Raquel's like, yeah, I kissed Oliver. How did you not see? It was literally in the middle of the dance floor. And Katie says like Lala was supposed to kiss him. And Raquel's like, yeah, I thought so too. It's crazy.
A lot of people are calling the Katie, Christina, Lala like mean girl behavior, if they hadn't like known what was going on behind the scenes with like Lala or Raquel. And it did come off more mean girl. I felt for Raquel, Rachel this episode.
Yeah, I did too. I obviously can look at these through tainted lenses, but if it wasn't tainted,
even tainted, I felt my heartstrings being pulled just watching the episode.
I felt it later, not yet, but
later on, definitely. But I was just like, this isn't like, come on, she's just having drunk fun in Vegas. Like, give her a break. They were going a little too hard, Lala, but I think their drunk levels were so different too.
But Lala says that too, right? She's like, yo, I said it was okay. We talked about it. And Christina Kelly's like, we just didn't know. Like, Lala was the one talking about Oliver all night. And Katie's starting to see a pattern with Raquel and says, seems like she has a pattern that she's only interested in men that her friends are married to or are interested in. She says it. She calls it. She said it. Yes. This was before.
It is a pattern at this point.
I mean, James wasn't dating anyone, right? She just wanted to get on the show for that.
I don't think James is an issue, but thus far we have this season 2 people, and we have messiness in just the sphere of Vanderpump with 3 people, Peter being one of them.
It's literally just like the worst men in relationships, truly.
Yeah.
You should go after, why doesn't anyone go after Max? You know, Lisa's unfavored son.
Faith did back in the day.
I miss Faith for that only. Okay, so Lala said she didn't care. She gave Raquel permission to do whatever. Lala also though says, Raquel, I would never trust like you around my man.
When you're drinking.
When you're drinking.
Yes.
And Raquel says, good thing you don't have a man around then.
Which Lala on her story said that there was kind of like more discussion around this stuff all trip that is kind of cut out, which like is why Lala is more mad. I think this is like an offensive quip, but I think they do blow it up over the episode.
I think so too, because like if I'm drunk, right, and they're coming at me about how I kissed a boy that like I wasn't mine, but also wasn't Lala's. And then Lala's like, but you know, I also have to throw this other dig while you're drunk.
Yeah.
Like, I wouldn't trust you around my man. And I'd be like, so good thing you don't have a man.
Because the thing is, if my friend said me, I feel like without all the other drama that we know, if someone just said this, you'd be like, oh, they're trying to be funny.
Yeah, so good thing you don't have a man.
Yeah, they're trying to give you a little dig, but it just doesn't help that we know Rachel does go after someone else's man.
I know, that screws her. She could have gotten a better edit this season.
Because then that's actually, it's not really the editors doing it. It's our own thoughts coming into the episode and changing how we're perceiving it.
Yeah.
Because this looks more pointed, like, oh, wow, she really would go after Lala's man because she did it to Ariana.
Yeah. This is wild. It's crazy to watch it not knowing what we know.
But
whatever. So Lala wants to shut this down because Raquel's been drinking and it's 3 a.m.
I think this is a good idea.
I do too. Christina Kelly, though, is shocked. She cannot believe that Raquel fucking said that. And Lala's feeling, you know, like she's trying to not murder Raquel. So like, let's just end it before it gets too bad. And then Katie does that whole like, oh my God, I left my toothbrush in Raquel's room. Like, how do I get it? And they're like, don't go get it. And she's like, I need it. So Christina Kelly volunteers this tribute
queen
to go get the toothbrush. And she walks in and Raquel has her like starlights on.
Oh my God, it's a whole galaxy on the ceiling.
This is how
it's like a night light. I was like, what is going on?
If I was forced to sleep outside, I don't find that a pleasant experience. I don't want to look at the stars. Also, I'm asleep.
This is where I feel like the age difference between Raquel and the other girls. Yeah. Like, why did you bring this light on this girls' trip?
This was wild.
It's not a themed party. We didn't just have this and so drunkenly you turned it on. Like, you brought this with you. Yes. Intentionally.
Yeah, no notes. Yeah. Horrible. So Christina Kelly is kind of like, what the actual fuck? And Raquel's like, hey, Christina, you can sleep here if you want. And Christina Kelly's like, absolutely not. She like leaves with Katie's toothbrush. And she compares Raquel to a 3-year-old.
Oh God.
She goes back to Katie and Lala and she's like, holy shit, Raquel's room is so fucking weird. There's a galaxy. And like literally they're laughing, making fun of her, like, oh my God, are we gonna get murdered? And then you see Raquel like from around the corner listening. This hurt me.
This was difficult because have you ever done this? Have you
listened to people talk about me? Yeah.
I can't name an exact moment, especially when I'm drunk. I feel like the drunkenness of this is different than like you coming home to an apartment after class and like hearing your friends shit talk you.
I can't think of a specific time, but also, you know, when people are talking about you, right?
Yes.
Even if you don't hear it, you know. So like, I know I've been in that like situation too.
Yeah. I think some of this is egged on though by the fact that Raquel is so drunk and they aren't. And so it's just like the momentary, oh my God, like it's so weird. Like what's going on? Where I don't think they really think all of these things all the time about Raquel, but being the person listening in, you get so self-conscious about like, wow, they don't like me. They're so mean. Like,
I agree. I think the drinking played a big part, but I did feel for Raquel in this.
I did. It's like the angle that the camera got was too good.
It was so fucking funny though. Her like body, and I was like,
yes,
did they not see the camera?
Right when Lala was like, I don't want to get murdered tonight. And then it's like creeper standing outside the door. I was like, Jesus, this is just like, you couldn't write this.
Do you think they didn't see? Do you think the camera moved at all to like show? Because they went on a different angle, like they were going behind Christina.
I know,
Kelly.
but I bet there were 2 cameras, and so one's pointed straight on at them, and the other like may look like it's just at Christina Kelly or something. You know?
Oh my God,
you don't know where that zoom is. Like,
you don't know. You don't know. But so yeah, Raquel hears. She goes back to her room crying. She said she didn't think she would be judged by from getting drunk and having fun.
Do you think they're judging her for getting drunk?
No, but you know when you have that one drunk friend, so you kind of razz on them because you're like, they're so fucking stupid.
And she already doesn't like 100% fit in with these girls. She doesn't have the rapport with them.
Like she literally was like, Katie told me not to put aluminum foil in the microwave. And so
I was like, girl.
I'd be like, you're a fucking mess. Like, honestly, if it was one of my friends, I'd be like, you're the worst.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you're a junior, like you meet some cool freshmen and invite them out, and then you realize, listen, you're too young. I can't hang out.
But you don't hate them. You're just gonna make fun of them.
Yeah, you're just kind of taking advantage of the situation for fun. Yeah. Like, how can you not make that joke?
Yeah, I don't think it was like ill intent, but it looked bad, and I felt bad.
I feel for her being in that position.
Yes. Okay, so the next morning we wake up in Vegas. Katie was texting Andrew, as Lala says, all night. He's the dude with the mustache. Because I
love the beginning talks, like texting with people.
I do too. But Andrew did ask her to meet up last night, but she was too tired. She just wanted to go to bed.
I don't think she's ready for that.
She's never gonna see this man again.
No, it's Vegas. It's not LA.
No. So they don't think Raquel, remembers the conversation with Lala, or the conversation from last night in the bed. And Lala's like, listen, I hated Raquel with James, but Raquel last night was rough. So Lala's
I don't think it was that rough. I think Lala's butt hurt.
Yeah. So Lala's been the person who gets wasted and says crazy ass things. Like when she said, I can see that everybody here has not been working on their summer bodies, which was when she called Katie fat. That was wild.
God, Lala drinking. It's going to be, well, not really fun, but interesting to go back because we haven't done that like that season yet.
Yeah. So Lala isn't judging Raquel, but their journeys are not aligned right now, which I think is fair. Raquel is super single and getting drunk. Like Lala's sober and a mom.
I agree. I think there is a difference between judging and just this type of lifestyle doesn't work for me.
Yes. Also, I don't know, that conversation with Raquel is still sitting bad with me. Okay, but Raquel is awake. She's ready to go. She feels embarrassed, which makes Katie feel relieved, like a mom, I guess. But Katie, calm down. You're not her mom. Raquel doesn't remember what she said, but she knows she said something offensive, and it was directed towards Lala, which is wild. You don't remember what you said, but you remember exactly how it came off.
People are talking about this. Like, you fucked up. You don't know what you said. And they think that what I've kind of heard around this is people think Rachel is just choosing to quote unquote not remember. But I've had moments where like I know the larger plot, I just don't know the actual words exchanged when I've been drinking.
Would you be able to be like, yo, pick out your one friend and be like, I said something offensive to you specifically?
But I don't know exactly the words used.
So I guess maybe either way, whatever. They tell Raquel what she said. Lala asked, like, do you feel like you can steal people's dudes? And is it other women's fault for not holding on to them? And Raquel says no, but Lala says, if you do, I'm not your person. And Lala does respect people's relationships, and she feels like Raquel does too. So Lala says it doesn't feel good about hooking up with James, even though like we're just finding out 6 years later, it still weighs heavy on me. And then Lala also says if Raquel wasn't so drunk, it probably wouldn't have happened. And Raquel in her interview says it's weird that of all people, Lala is telling her about respecting relationships when she slept with James while he was dating Raquel, which I was like, ooh, you're right.
I agree, but the difference is that like there's growth on Raquel's part. So I think her commenting on not doing this isn't, you mean
like Lala's part?
Oh yeah, sorry. There's been growth on Lala's part on like she has admitted like she did a lot of terrible things when she was drinking. She doesn't drink anymore. I think commenting on like that's still a bad thing to do. Like for Raquel to do, things that Lala used to do. I think it's okay for Lala to comment on these things because she is in a different place. If Lala was still doing those things actively and like shaming Raquel for doing them, that would bother me. But I don't think Lala would do those things now.
No, but Raquel is just finding out about it because Lala and James chose to lie to her.
I do understand
for 6 years. So she is very much like, this is the Lala that might have done, like, this is the Lala that didn't tell me until
100%,
now.
100%. But I think like at some point, like Raquel can do it in her own time, but I think at some point she does need to get over it. And if Lala ever gives her like feedback of like, I don't think that's a cool thing to do, Lala or Raquel can't always throw it back in her face, but like, you cheated on James, or cheated on, like, James cheated on me with you. Does that make sense? Like Raquel can't use that forever.
No, but she has not forgiven Lala, and Lala really
Yes.
hasn't apologized. She's just said it's 6 years, get over it.
That, yeah. Lala's a little too like flippant with that. Like, they just get over it.
Yeah, I don't love that. Anyway, whatever. So we have to get ready to go to Lake Havasu. So then we go to Tom Schwartz's apartment. He answers the door in his robe, and Scheana's already here. And we meet Shira, the stylist, and Scheana and Shira are gonna kill me in this scene. But Scheana
just say the stylist.
Oh, but you know, I love names.
I
Whatever.
know.
So Scheana feels like she's someone Schwartz can relate to because you know she also got divorced and she lost the divorce closet, which makes that worse.
This is kind of like Sheena's version of the divorce closet.
Exactly. So Schwartz needs big dick energy, so Sheena's gonna help. And if you think Schwartz he has never had big dick energy.
I like Scheana supporting Schwartz in the divorce this way. I think this is sweet. You know, like, let's get him back on his feet.
Scheana was nice.
Type of support.
Yes,
I love this. This is what friends should do.
Scheana's very cute in this. Shira, she was here to dress Tom. First outfit, I think he already looks better.
Same.
He also says it's gonna be painful when he learns he can't afford any of this shit.
I feel that as well.
Yep. Shira goes through his closet too. She like grabs shirts and he's like, oh, I'll send those to my brothers in Florida. And she goes, not even your brothers would want these. And I almost want to be like, Shira, you obviously haven't met the triplets.
The triplets.
They would take these.
I thought the same thing.
Schwartz also has like a couple's costume him and Katie did in 2020.
It is funny when like the stylist goes through this, and one, he says, oh, my roommate Joe might like this. And I was like, wait, when did you guys become roommates? Because last time you talked about Joe, she was just your friend who was staying with roommates. You.
I mentioned it. I was like, where's she living with all these boxes?
Does he have a 2-bedroom? Because like, this is a fucking relationship if you guys are sleeping in the same bed.
I mean, Kristen thinks that Schwartz knew because he was probably going on double dates with Joe, Raquel, and Tom.
Yeah, like he wanted to hide this relationship with Joe, which like I get the hiding the relationship with Joe part. Like you want to keep it on the DL, but
still.
But that doesn't mean you hide an affair. Yeah. Whatever. But I also love that he's starting a Katie pile. Like, dude, what?
This was bad. He's like, I'm gonna give this back to Katie. What? And I was like,
I don't think she wants it.
No.
If it was like a sweater she like has always loved and would steal, I could get that. But it's random stuff. It's like, oh, she really loved when I wore this. Like, I should see if she wants it.
If you pulled some creepy shit and stole some of her clothes to smell, that's fine. Just give it back. That is the only shit she wants. No, also, he keeps putting on clothes. He put on those shoes. Remember, I was like, "Oh, Katie bought me those."
Okay, those were Gucci shoes, so I kind of get it.
Them. Yeah, I was like, "Sir, you can keep them." You're like,
"You can
okay.
keep gifts from exes, especially like really nice things."
If
However,
it's nice things. Don't keep a teddy bear. Don't keep a teddy bear. Don't keep a water bottle.
Luxury goods only.
Luxury goods. It has to be useful. Like if they buy you a pan that you really like, keep the pan.
That's funny. My mom literally has pans she bought with an ex-boyfriend that she thought she was going to live with down the line, and she didn't. We still have them.
Yeah, keep the pans. Why wouldn't you keep the pans?
Like, what am I going to do? Give it to Goodwill and go and pay for new pans for myself? No.
But other than that, no, you can get rid of it. But keep the Gucci shoes. You're okay.
Keep the Gucci shoes.
So we're on the road to Lake Havasu. Christina Kelly brings up how she noticed Katie's mom maybe still has a little bit of hope that Tom and Katie are going to get back together. And Katie's like, no, it's just like Tom used to spend holidays with us. Like he was part of the family, which is true because A, Tom's family doesn't really fly because A, they can't afford it. And B, I think his parents hate flying. But also C, Florida is a fucking far place to fly from California. Anyway. So then we cut back to Schwartz's apartment. Oh, this is where we do the Gucci slide. Scheana then is like very upset still that Katie created this whole party for her to celebrate a divorce, and Scheana wasn't invited. And Tom's like, it wasn't a divorce party. And Katie's like, or Sheena's like, yes, it was.
Scheana keeps blowing up Katie's spot to Tom, and I'm like, Jesus Christ! Like, you've already told him she's sleeping with people, and now you're gonna tell him about this divorce party.
But also, Tom's an idiot if he didn't think this wasn't a divorce party.
I do agree with that.
So he's now upset. So Sheena's like, yo, I should throw you boys night, like get you back in the game. And Schwartz is like, no, seriously, but no prostitutes though. And I was like, no one said anything about prostitutes.
Yeah, what? Why are we going that far? Especially Scheana. Also, this isn't like one of your boys throwing it. Like Sheena's telling you this.
Sheena's not gonna get you prostitutes.
No. Scheana would actually be 6 feet under. Katie would murder her if Scheana bought Schwartz prostitutes.
It felt unauthentic, him saying this. It felt like he was like, you know what's funny and people like about me? They like when I'm saying stupid stuff. So he said this.
It is interesting also, Scheana flip-flops all episode on like, on the Katie party, and she's like, I can't believe I'm not there, like Katie did this, and then she's like, I wouldn't want to be there anyways, and then later in the episode she's like, I can't believe this happened with me.
But that's what you say.
I know. You're like, this reminds me of the Mexico episode back in the day with the vans, and Scheana went with the boys and wanted the gangbang thing. Like,
I know. Every time you mention it, I have said I'm uncomfortable saying that on the show. I think it's horrible.
I know.
But yes, I get it.
It's just we're in the up. Like, Scheana constantly goes through ups and downs with these girls, and we are in the off swing of Scheana not being
it makes me
in
sad.
with the girls.
It makes me very sad.
I agree. I wish it could just be kind of consistent. Because like Ariana is not in a great place to be like her support system in this episode.
I know. Okay, so we're on the road to Lake Havasu again. Katie's still talking about how she wants Schwartz to be her best friend. I absolutely rolled my eyes saying, no, stop this. Stop normalizing becoming best friends with your ex. Yes. It's like not a fucking thing. Anyway, Christina Kelly asks how it went with James and Raquel, because they were also best friends. And Raquel says after James exploded on her dad at Thanksgiving by saying that Raquel's dad was only with her mom because he's miserable, and Raquel's mom's a bitch. Actually, she called her a fat bitch and said Raquel's dad is not a good dad.
I cannot believe he did this. I can't believe we didn't get this information at the reunion.
I can't believe sober James did this.
Yeah.
Drunk James in a second. I would believe it. If you told me this, I'd be like, yeah.
She says she told him to shut up or he would be kicked out of the car. No, I would have kicked him out of the car immediately and said, you can find your own way home.
Here's my other thing to Raquel. If she almost made it seem like that was the moment I was over him, so I stayed with him until I broke up with him, right? Raquel, if someone called my mom a fat bitch, their ass would be dumped immediately, kicked out of my home. I would call the police on them.
Yes, especially unprompted. If I'm bitching about my family and you chime in, I think that's weird, but at least I'm the one who started it. You were just going off about my family. I can yell at my family. You can't yell about my family.
You can't say anything worse about my family than I am.
Only I can say they're terrible people.
We're going to start there. Okay, but anyway, Raquel said she was gonna leave him when he was in London, like just pack up everything and leave the ring
with a note. I was like, what drama? Girly.
What drama?
If you're gonna do that, please tell production. So like at least we could have gotten it on camera.
I would have killed her already.
It's giving me Teen Mom when Macy puts down the ring and walks out. That. I mean, Ryan's sitting there though.
Yes. If Raquel did that and didn't call production, she would already be dead by me. Because that's rude. That's rude to do and not call production.
I think if you're gonna break up with someone, like especially an engagement, you got to do that to their face.
Well, we obviously know she didn't give the ring back until the fucking reunion.
Well, they were trying to keep up appearances a little bit, I think. They wanted to process it in their own time.
No, wild to me. Anyway, she feels like she was so focused on James that she lost her identity, and now she feels like she doesn't know who she is, and she kind of starts crying. She's one of those people that have had so much work that her face doesn't move. Did you notice that when she cries?
No, to be honest, I was so focused on the fact that this obviously was the scene from the season preview, and I always thought she was in the front seat, so I just kept thinking, wow, same. I can't believe this is the back seat.
I wonder when she goes to the front seat. But yeah, she also, when she cries, she does that thing where her face doesn't move, so that's why everyone was like, are you crying? Because I think they didn't know.
This made me feel, this was really authentic in my opinion, like her talking about she's been in a relationship for so long she doesn't know how to like be
No,
single.
see, I didn't. I was tainted. I was
I
like,
this
your
is
whole
how I
life's a
truly
lie.
feel about this portion of the season, like before the relationship starts. Like the dating with Peter, like it just felt like she was muddling through life, just trying to like
That's
grasp onto
true.
anything. And so I think this is really a struggle for her. And I can kind of see how I don't condone it, but I see how this affair kind of starts. Like she clearly does really want to be loved. What I don't like is that if she's going to continue anything with Tom, then you're clearly not focused on working on yourself, quote unquote, as your statement said. And so that's the part that frustrates me. Like I can see how broken she is here, and that makes me sad for her, but that doesn't
My
make an affair okay.
I think I'm tainted. I don't believe it anymore. I thought the panic attack was weirdly genuine, but I think she's upset about something, but for
Mm-hmm.
some reason her saying like I don't know who I am, like I don't know my identity because I was so focused on James. Knowing now that like she was just a groupie trying to date James and get on the show, I just like it's not
Yeah,
it for me.
that's tricky. But the pageant conversation with Peter,
I
like
think that was real. I was
that
in
all
that.
like identity crisis that she's going through. I understand this because I kind of feel like I went through one during the pandemic of like, what the fuck am I doing with my life? And so I totally understand that. And that is such a shitty place to be.
I get it. Anyway, so then she's trying to figure out life and then they pull over because she feels well, they pull over originally, I think, to like be like, oh, Raquel and give hugs, but then she says she starts to feel shaky and doesn't feel good. And then Christina Kelly's like, you're having a panic attack, like turn on the air. And Christina Kelly's fucking freaking out. And Lala says, in through the mouth, out through the nose, which is wrong. But Lala tells her to do that, which honestly I think would calm you down, right? Because then you're like, in through the mouth, out through the nose.
Yeah,
Because I
you're
had
like,
to
you
think
get your
about it.
focus on anything else.
I had
Yeah,
to
on
think about
something
it when I
else.
did it because I did try it because
I
someone was
did
like, I
try it
can't
too because
even
I was
do
like,
that.
can you not do that? And then I did it. And I
Yeah.
was like, you
Who
can
was
do
it?
it.
Who the hell was it that was like, I can't even do that? I was like, you can't do that?
I literally paused my TV and I was like,
Same. Same. I tried to breathe. It was amazing. Um, okay, yeah. So Raquel's then settles down. She's feeling better. She's still crying. She always beats herself up. And Lala's like, we're good. You were cute last night. Let's just take deep breaths. So
they
Lala's
give her some
done.
great positive
Yeah.
affirmations here. And I felt hope for the rest of this trip and like the friendships. I knew
I
because I had
felt
heard about
good.
where this episode went. And I'd read it online because I watched it
Oh
late.
shit.
So I knew where this was ending, but this made me sad because I was like, okay, like we're gonna do like a bonding girls trip. The second half of this is really gonna have an upswing. It's gonna be like girls only. Like here we go.
Yeah, I was excited. Okay, so then we get to the Lake Havasu house. It's fucking huge. We're
Mm-hmm.
starting to settle in. Charlie shows up with a bunch of Modelo. And then Charlie and Christina Kelly finally meet. And Charlie says she knows Christina Kelly used to work at Sir, and now she sells lip balm, which Charlie looked at. So
The way she delivered that line, I was like,
okay.
girl.
I have to say, I love Christina Kelly, and we all know that. But I also love Charlie, and I don't know why she has beef with Christina Kelly, but it was so funny. It
Yes.
was the way she said it was so funny.
Charlie does like really well at just giving random off the
Interviews.
cuff lines. Yeah, that like kind of have nothing to do with the grander storyline.
No,
And but I love it.
I want like the producers to just have Charlie every episode and be like, "What'd you think of like the Tom's food that they were trying?" And she's like,
Yes.
"Disgusting." Like she just gives us something, and then they just go, "What do you think about this?" And then she just says like one sentence. I think that's
I
amazing.
think she's so funny. Even later in the episode, she
So
gets
funny.
meaner, but I'm like, these are
They're
hilarious.
funny. They're
She's kind of
funny.
like James, like she's giving us
Yeah.
the thing we love about James.
Yes, it's funny. It's just like
Yes.
hilarious to watch. Anyway, so then we go to Tom Tom. Schwartz and Sandoval are here. They're talking to their patrons. How fun. Max is here, my favorite manager, my favorite because he's not Lisa's favorite kid. So the Toms tell Max about how their other bar isn't opening up, and Max doesn't give a fuck. Okay. Max is trying to run a fucking restaurant where you own 5% each. It's just not his business.
I thought this dynamic was so funny because of that. Like here's the 5% owners coming in to tell me they're gonna change the menu.
Max doesn't answer to these two buffoons.
By my relation to the real owners, I am a descendant of actually owning this restaurant.
Mom doesn't love me the most, but she loves me more than you two. So you two can get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
That's my Max impression. Anyway, the Toms are struggling working with Greg. So then the Toms go talk and they're talking about if, they should take Lisa's offer. And Sandoval's like, oh, but what if we rob ourselves of future at Tom Tom because Schwartz and Sandy's is a flop? And I agree, but your 5% is not going to fucking save you.
I agree, but I also kept thinking future, current me here in the future. Man, I really wish they bought themselves out of Tom Tom.
Future me is I wish you weren't there.
I wish you didn't exist in this restaurant. And maybe they did.
When we go, if they're still 5% owners each, we have to take 10% of our bill, right? And add that extra 10% to we just have to know
something about her.
Yeah. But that's just how much we know that we spent to them that they get.
Yes, that's a good point.
Yes. Okay, so also here, Sandoval is like, yeah, what if we rob ourselves? Also, we need Greg. He's a restaurateur and he knows everything, which is true. Y'all don't know anything.
They do need to just ride the Greg train because what else are they gonna fucking do? They can't open this restaurant by themselves.
Actually, I'd like to talk about something. I listened to the Bravo docket. They did a Sandoval episode, but it was not about what you would think. A lot of it was about this restaurant.
Really?
They read the lease, right? Because there's all this stuff of the Toms are paying the lease, but the Greg's name is on it.
Yeah.
And they said, that's very common. Okay. Because Greg, he probably owns the property and he's dealing with that stuff. The Toms are not doing that, but they have the funds. So they're going to pay the lease. It's very
interesting.
They said it's pretty normal and it's legal and whatever. They did say though.
That makes Lisa's concern about the Toms paying and Greg benefiting make more sense because I was what is the benefit of Greg just having his name on the lease?
Yes. It's not his money and B, he's in charge.
He's going to get paid no matter what for the lease, whether they're open or closed.
And there was
being open helps him because he wants to make more money, but being closed doesn't really hurt him.
I mean, if they stop paying, Greg is liable.
Yes.
So that's where the kind of trade-off is. Also, I guess Greg was in a fight with a landlord. He was getting sued or something during COVID for not paying rent, but I guess that was legal in California, so they proved him wrong. Anyway,
they had the rent concessions.
Yeah. The last thing is, remember when Tom put his house up for collateral and Ariana was telling Lisa but it's okay because it's only his half and not mine.
Yeah.
They said that this is bullshit. And if Schwartz and Sandy's goes down, the house goes down with or without Ariana in it.
I agree. What I think
you don't have to agree, it's the law.
Well, yes. No, but I think what Ariana thinks is happening is that if we sell this house, I'll get the money back, because Tom used his part to go into the restaurant. If everything ended amicably, she would get the money, but this isn't ending amicably. So I don't know. I think he would fight her for whatever money they have into the house.
They need to sell this house fucking immediately, or Ariana needs to sell it to Tom. Just get the fuck out. Why would you want the house that you shared with your ex and his mistress?
Gross.
Okay, anyway, so they have a tasting tomorrow. Also, Schwartz, he needs to consult with his financial advisor. It is a magic 8 ball.
Thought this was funny.
It tells them to take their shares out of Tom Tom.
And I'm yes, do it. Follow the 8 ball.
Listen to him. Okay, then James is here. They're experimenting with spritzes, and Schwartz is gonna make a beer spritz. And at first I was I don't know, but James liked it.
It's kind of like a oh, what's it called? A Radler. That's what I think it would
Yeah.
taste like whenever you like mix lemonade with a beer. I'm guessing
Yeah.
it wouldn't be terrible, but I'm not interested. I'll take a normal spritz, please.
Same. Or I'll take a fun flavored spritz.
Yeah.
So tomorrow night they're gonna have guys' night and be hooligans plus Scheana. And James is like, that's fine as long as Raquel's not there because Allie and I are not hanging out with our exes. And then he says Raquel's around too much.
I think this is a normal ask considering it's a boys' night.
And then James says, and I quote, Raquel wouldn't even know these people without me. Like, find your own life. Next thing you know, it's DJ fucking Raquel next Wednesday at the Sur. And I cackled.
This is the bad thing about being so involved with just one friend group.
It's so good. Next thing you know, it's gonna
James,
be DJ
it is
fucking
your
Raquel.
you are the catalyst to all these problems. You brought Raquel around.
That's why he's number one guy in the group.
That's true. That's true. You got to be the catalyst to a lot of problems to be number one guy in the group.
Literally shout out to a girl who made a TikTok, called him the number one guy in the group. Also, if we could keep that clip of him running from Brittany yelling at him on the internet forever, that's one of I cannot wait to talk about that season. Okay, so great. As they're talking to James about guys' night, I literally wrote, is Ariana okay? And we still don't know because we go back to Lake Havasu. Yeah. We're gonna have a chill night. Raquel's like, thank God, Charlie, you didn't see me in Las Vegas. It was crazy. Did I mention they're at dinner right now? Whatever.
I think so.
Dinner, you guys. So basically, yeah, Raquel's like, oh, I was so messy last night. And Katie, Lala,
it's interesting
and
to hear this back because I don't know why I thought Lala is the one who brought this conversation up again. I hated that they talked about this again.
They bring it up again, right? And Raquel's just kind of like, I got crazy, and Charlie's like, okay. And then you have the other three girls like, oh, but what'd you do, Raquel? Like, what'd you do? Yeah. So then it like came up. And then they say that Raquel turns into a different person when drinking, which is a liability. So Charlie then looks at Katie and is like, are you having fun? Did you meet any fun servers in Paris? Which was totally a production line, but whatever. Yeah. And they talk about Oliver being pretty cute. And then they tell Charlie that Oliver and Raquel made out on the dance floor at Disco Pussy. And Raquel's like,
oh, well, they literally say like Rachel swooped in and Rachel's like, whoa, Lala gave me permission.
Yeah, like, which Lala also says. But Raquel's also, she's like she must say that like Lala also thought Oliver was cute. So like not just me, but like then I swooped, like she does that, which I don't love.
I hated this second version of this conversation.
Well, same. This is where I felt bad for Rachel. So Charlie says that she's happy that Raquel's getting her groove back. Also says that Lala's probably just bitter she wasn't chosen.
I think Lala is. I think that's what drives most of the like mean girlness in this overall discussion, both the first one and the second, about the Oliver situation.
And this is where Lala starts to say things that she doesn't like about Raquel. She's not a girl's girl. And Charlie's like, you know what? We need a new spokesperson for women. This was hilarious.
Whenever Charlie goes, I don't know how Lala became the spokesperson of women, but we need someone new. I was like,
so funny.
I do agree.
I agree. It was so funny. So Charlie said she's riding for Raquel. She's like, Raquel's finding her own voice. I support it. Raquel thought maybe they could all be friends, but she's not going to take their shit anymore. So she's going to stand her ground in this. I think Raquel says,
I think if Charlie is ever sitting at a dinner table and one person is kind of getting ganged up or like the quote unquote ganged up on, I think Charlie would always stick up for that person.
Yeah, plus this isn't right. Okay, so Lala, right? Raquel made out with this guy Lala thought was cute. There has been no crime committed. No, but these girls are really going in on her for being also, as someone who makes a ton of mistakes when drunk, I don't want to be held accountable for those.
Okay. Like, some mistakes you should be held accountable for.
I'll be accountable, but
this
isn't past it.
This isn't that serious.
Stop shitting on me.
This isn't one to like literally ride her for like 2 days straight on.
Like I said some dumb shit. I acknowledged it the next day.
We talked about it. Move on.
We're done. Stop getting mad at me at dinner. I'm just trying
for
to
a
eat.
fucking makeout in a bar with someone we won't see again.
Yeah, so this is when Raquel says, if anything, people should be wary about Lala around their men, because Lala has already slept with her man, which I was like,
she did also trip over those words though. And I was like, oh, girl, you're just not good at confronting Lala. I know you're scared of her. And I kind of feel for you on that.
Yeah. And this is where Lala's like, but I was drinking. And Raquel goes, I was drinking. She goes, that was 6 years ago. Get over it. And this is where I was like, and Charlie says, like, she just learned about it.
Lala said that what got cut out of here is that Lala says, I was drinking. Raquel says, I was drinking. And Lala says, well, then if you're going to blame it on the alcohol, then I think you need to consider not drinking. And then Raquel basically said, oh, cheers to ginger ale, like digging at her sobriety. And I was like, oh, that's not cool. But still, why can't Raquel be young and dumb and make drunk mistakes? I don't think Raquel has a drinking problem.
I don't think so either.
She kissed a boy that you like.
Yes. And I do think she can still be mad about the James thing. It's not get over it.
I just don't want Raquel to hang on that all season long and use it anytime an argument comes up.
But if Raquel's gonna be mad, just don't hang out with Lala. Do like a Katie Scheana thing where we just avoid each other at all costs.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, Lala's like, don't forget you tried to make out with Schwartz. Like, get over the 6-year thing. You don't respect that. And Raquel's like, you don't respect that. And so then Raquel calls Lala a hypocrite. Because Lala sleeps with married men. Ooh. And Katie's like, but you try to make out with Schwartz, who is still technically married. And then Katie says she's trying to move on. She's been very gracious, but she doesn't have to be. And she can light Raquel's ass on fire. Wild. Can I say one thing about Katie?
Yes.
When she's trying to like kind of stand up for herself, she always gives herself these crazy compliments. And I'm like, calm down. Like it's almost when someone is like, I'm so pretty, but like is serious. And you're like, okay.
You're like, oh, we do that now?
I'm happy you feel that way, but like, calm down.
It's funny because Katie has an argument, but she takes it to another level where I'm like, all right, you just lost your argument.
I love when she's like, I was really gracious with you, so you should let Lala yell at you.
Technically, Schwartz is a married man. I'm like, girly, stop.
How's Andrew doing?
You moved on. Like, if you thought there was a chance for rekindling, maybe you could use that argument. But it's a no. So
I agree.
Come on.
So Raquel's like, I didn't make out with Schwartz, and Lala's like, no, Schwartz didn't make out with you. Which is also crazy.
This is a good argument, though. Like, you wanted to.
That was awesome.
Lala stopped it.
Lala ate that. But then Raquel comes back and is like, you were the one sleeping with a married man. You're a mistress. And this is where Lala goes, I'm going to disengage. I lost my whole marbles. All the marbles were gone, Meredith Marks.
I was like, this is a fucking messy fight, and no one's actually doing really well in it, which is like some people, everybody has a good line and then terrible lines, and a good line and a terrible line.
Doing good though? It's Charlie, who's just trying to fucking eat her oysters.
Now that Raquel is like fighting her own battle, Charlie's like, all right, girl, you got this. Like, you're speaking up for yourself. You don't need my help. I'll just sit here, do some good interviews later on, and eat my food.
So Lala tells Raquel disengage, because the word mistress hits Raquel pretty hard, because Randall has never had to defend himself for having a mistress, but Lala always has to defend herself for being the mistress, which this made me pissed. And I was like, you're right.
I know. I was like, right. You know what? This is a good argument, but I know Lala's hurting because of being cheated on. It's tough to like then throw that back in her face. Kind of like the Ariana thing going on right now with like Kristen, the Kristen cheating stuff getting thrown back in Ariana's face. Like, why is it the girl's fault?
It's not. We have to stop like protecting these men. Like, Jesus Christ, leave them alone. Or like, let's go after them. Leave the women alone. I do think
it is a flaw in your character if you do know somebody's married and you go after them, but that doesn't mean you should just only go after the woman. Like, the man should get or not the man, but like whoever's in a relationship should get majority of the blame.
This was the same thing with Scheana, though, right? Everyone had sort of fucking hated her because she was hooking up with a married man. And it's like, sure, Scheana claims she didn't know. Okay, let's take that at face value or whatever. Mm-hmm. But like, Like, why are we still mad at Scheana if she really
why
didn't
is the
fucking
problem
know?
between
Go
Brandy
yell
and
at Eddie.
Scheana,
Let's go
not
yell at
Eddie and
Eddie.
Brandy?
Let's go
And
yell at
honestly,
Eddie.
Eddie and Scheana. Like, shouldn't Scheana be pissed at Eddie for being like, you were in a, like, technically kind of you were cheating on me too?
She was hurt. Okay, and she already had Shay. She had moved on.
That is
But
true.
you know. Okay, so dun dun dun. Yeah, that's about it. So then Lala gets up, and then Katie and Christina Kelly also get up, and they walk out hand in hand because like Katie's distraught that this happened. And then Charlie literally was like, dude, that was so fucking funny. That was awesome. And I was cracking up again because even Raquel is like shaken up, and Charlie's like, that was dope. Like, do we get all this food? Like, what the fuck happens now?
That Charlie's reaction to that
Charlie's
was hilarious.
Awesome. That would have been me. That's like a fan. I would have been like, that was awesome.
Great job.
That was amazing. Raquel, will you sign your autograph but say it Rachel? Like, that's fucking amazing. So then we go to Ariana and Tom's house, and we see Ariana laying in bed. She's so sad. Lisa calls. Lisa's been thinking of Ariana because Lisa's walking through her doggy graveyard in the backyard, I guess.
This is wild to me. This is illegal where I live to bury your dogs in your yard.
I know nothing about animal care because I don't have one, but yeah, probably.
Also, Ariana says she wouldn't want to bury her Charlotte because she could never leave. And now present day me is so happy if she didn't do this because then she can fucking leave that house.
She can leave. She needs to get out. But she also doesn't feel like getting up. She's just in a big depression, which is very sad. So then we go hiking with Summer, Brock, and Scheana. It was weird that I wrote Summer's name first, Summer Moon. But they're on a walk. Raquel texted Scheana basically saying like, I miss you, but no like information. But Sheena's team Tom Schwartz, which we knew, no new information.
This is where she says, I'm so happy I'm not there. I'd rather be here with my family.
I would always rather be with my family. I'm being really harsh on everyone. I'm just mocking everyone this episode.
I don't care about most of this drama. I'm still in present day drama.
Same. So we're back in Lake Havasu. Christina, Kelly, Katie, and Lala are all hanging out. Charlie and Lala slept in the room downstairs yesterday. Raquel moved all her shit to Charlie's room, and they had a fucking night. Anyway, Lala's annoyed because this trip was supposed to be about Katie, and for 2 nights it's been about Raquel.
Okay.
And Katie's not thinking about her life. She's thinking about
that is true. But Katie had a good time in Vegas. She literally met that boy. She was not distracted by the Oliver stuff. And then the fight last night, honestly, half of it's your fault, Lala. Honestly, stop fucking bringing it up then.
Also, if Katie just hadn't made a big deal out of Raquel drunk speaking that first night, it would have been fun. She wouldn't have even been mad. She wasn't mad till we got home to go to bed.
Seriously.
Anyway, okay, so yeah, Charlie and Raquel are up right now. Charlie has to take out her retainer, and then we find out these two went to karaoke last night.
Where was that? Like I wanted that last night.
I don't know, but Charlie was like, she's like on the mic, like, do we have any people from LA out here? And like one person, she goes, one guy. Or do we have any Kid Rock fans?
That was it.
Do we have any Kid Rock fans in the house? One fan. And I was fucking again, she was so funny. Okay, but Raquel doesn't feel welcomed here. She doesn't want to stay here. Maybe it's better to give it some space. Plus Raquel knows that Scheana's going out with the boys, but she doesn't say the boys. She says Schwartz. So let's crash.
I hate this.
And these are more her friends anyway.
I understand that. Like saying like, I'd rather be home with like people who actually enjoy hanging out with me. But the pointed, let's go hang out with Schwartz is messy and gross.
Rude. It's
like,
rude.
Katie has told you now on like 4 occasions that it hurts her deep for this to be a thing, and you continually do it with no regard. I don't care if you're friends or not. If somebody told me that I'm acquaintances with, this hurt them so bad, it would crush me. If I kept doing these actions, like I would actually think such poorly of myself.
Agreed. So Raquel's gonna play into it though, because she's on the show. Okay, so they go upstairs, tell the girls they're leaving. They're like on the balcony in the back, and Raquel's basically, she walks out there and they're like, hey. Raquel's like, listen, I don't feel comfortable here anymore, and it was a mistake, so I'm leaving. And She also says, we're going to meet up with Scheana and Schwartz tonight.
Like,
and I was
you
like,
didn't need to say that.
girl.
Come on.
Then Christina Kelly's like, makes sense. And Charlie's like, what the fuck? What do you mean it makes sense?
I'm like, Charlie, you clearly don't know what's going on outside of this weekend's drama.
Charlie's like, Raquel's not going to go fuck Tom right now. And Christina Kelly's like, well, she probably will.
Well,
so that was crazy.
You look like an idiot now, Charlie, unfortunately, with that type of comment.
No,
Raquel was like literally stabbing Katie and just twisting the knife every time she brings up Schwartz.
I found Charlie really funny in this.
And most of it I did, but on the Schwartz stuff, I'm like, don't back it up. Just don't comment on it.
But that's your friend. None of these girls are. Lala and also, Christina Kelly are not friends with Charlie.
That is true.
Said that.
Charlie legit doesn't even know Christina Kelly. She's like, Charlie is probably like, who the fuck is this girl? She lip balm girl. Says
Christina Kelly has Katie's dick in her mouth all the time. Like, Charlie doesn't give a fuck about Christina Kelly. And listen, I said I love Christina
I just Kelly. Love Christina Kelly so much that I'm like, don't do that to my girl.
I do too. But also I was like, Christina Kelly, just stay out of it. Charlie then will shut up and we'll be fine. Like, Christina Kelly's also twice Charlie's age too. And she's like, oh no, Raquel's gonna pregnant. Fuck. And Charlie's like, shut the fuck up. So Lala thinks it's good Raquel's gonna leave, and Raquel says she got the green light with Oliver, and Lala's like, it's not about that. And then Raquel's like, oh, you're a mistress. Calls her a mistress again.
God.
Okay, so Lala says we're good, we're done here. So Raquel says she thinks Lala's angry that Oliver picked her over Lala, and then they leave. And Charlie's like, that was dope, you did it again, that was dope, dude. You see their faces?
And she disses Christina Kelly's dry hair.
Her dry ass hair.
That I did kind of find funny.
That was
these
so
disses are just
funny.
Charlie's disses just they don't connect with anything else going on, and I love shit like that.
They land so well. I think she delivers it.
She has the tone, like the tone of how she says things is so good.
Okay, so Christina Kelly tells Katie to rethink her friendship with Charlie. And Katie just is staring. I don't think Katie said one goddamn word in this whole thing.
No.
Okay, so it's a new vibe now that those girls are gone. And Katie's like, yeah. And that's all she says.
Let's go.
So we go to the boat. The girls are on the hot pink boat, and they're next door to the boys. They're boys drinking. We don't know why, but a bunch of
I wish we would have got more context about these guys, because this felt fun.
It felt really fun. It really felt like they were frat douchebags or whatever.
Yeah, but like that's people you want to know for a day, and those are the perfect people just to not actually exchange numbers, any contact info, just hang out with for a moment.
Yeah, they were like 30-year-old like ex-frat dudes. It was hilarious. Okay, so Christina Kelly's very excited. She's like, there's cute boys behind us. There's cute boys, Katie. There's cute boys. And so they talk to the boys because, you know what, Lauren from Utah knows how to do a lake party, and we're gonna do it with these boys. And so we watch them party in a montage, and then we wrap it up. And Christina Kelly's like, "Bye, boys, thank you so much." And then one of the guys falls over. And
we love a hammered guy who can't stand up.
You hear Katie go, did he fall again? And I was like, this guy.
That's why I wish I would have gotten more. I was like, it seemed like there was some good banter back and forth, or like people watching. I wanted more, but we didn't have time. No.
It was already an hour 15. Okay.
You're right.
So we go to Schwartz and Sandy's. We meet Jolene, Greg's wife.
Oh my God. Her with her fucking basket from her garden.
It was so funny. Jolene is amazing. Ariana's also here. They're going to taste some food. Sandoval's really stressed because you don't know what Greg you're going to get. Or you can get like angry Greg, or you can get nice Greg. We don't know.
I don't care what you want, Schwartz. Sandoval, I hope you just get shitty Greg for the rest of your life.
He like is not even a blimp on my radar anymore.
I can't believe Ariana's here to support this stupid restaurant right now.
It's like not worth it. We will never spend money there. Sorry, Jolene. Okay, but then Schwartz is like, hey Ariana, how was Vegas? Oh, dumb question. You left. How's your dead dog? And I was like, what the? You knew immediately. You were like, this was a bad question to ask. Immediately.
I just stared at Ariana. I didn't listen to any of this. I stared at the food and Ariana, my loves of this scene.
Yes. But Ariana does tell us that she had to put Charlotte to sleep. She's been a wreck. She's trying to get out of the house and experience something nice. So this better be fucking nice for her, Greg. You better be the happiest you've ever fucking been.
God.
So we
Be
do the
pleasant with her.
tasting. Yeah, we did the tasting. The goal is to find something different that you can't get anywhere else. And they're going to have 18 whole items on the menu. And it was a successful tasting. Nothing important happened. But the boys got to leave for boys' night. Boy, that's what they start doing at the table. They're like, boys' night. Boy. And Matt, the bartender's going too, because he somehow, or no, the general manager, Brett, the general manager.
Yeah.
Is here. He's gonna go out to boys' night.
It's funny because they always show him, but sometimes we get the name and sometimes we don't. And I'm like, man, this guy is not even a side character. He is like an alleyway character.
The Toms can't have that because he's the only one doing any work. Okay, so we're back in Lake Havasu. Christina, Kelly, and Lala have a surprise for Katie, and it's the Schwartz piñata with the green pants.
I love this.
It was from that Mexico one where they're fighting, and she's like, "Shut up, Tom," and those stupid green pants, and that was awesome. That was a good episode. Okay, so she knocks the body right off the head.
And the head is dangling
hilarious
from the rope. I was like, "Oh God."
She decapitated him. And we find tequila and condoms and a vibrator inside, which that's a fun surprise.
This is a piñata? Really good idea for like a divorce, like girls' weekend.
Great. This was awesome. Okay, so Katie said this was great. She's always wanted to beat the shit out of him, which I fucking same, honestly.
You know what? It's therapeutic. I understand.
So Lala asked Katie what she would want in a new relationship. And Katie says she just wants someone to be her true teammate, someone that puts her first. And then Christina Kelly's like, do you miss anything about Schwartz? And I literally started kind of crying because Katie gets really emotional. And she says she misses a lot of things with Schwartz because he was her best friend. But it wasn't there wasn't any romantic love there anymore, but she does feel like she's losing a best friend, and this is why people don't shouldn't get involved in these divorces, because her and Schwartz are in a really fragile place, and she's clearly still hurt by it. And she's hurt that people are trying to get involved and ruin their friendship, she feels like, which was so sad. I was literally tearing up.
This cut me. You can see how difficult it is and emotional. In the best friend part of it, losing it, it's not like she is mad at Tom and losing a best friend. Obviously, she would have loved to marry someone, have them support her, all those things. But you can see she can separate losing her husband, but she's really focused and sad about the potential of losing her friend. They've known each other for so long. And I think they do need to be to make their life easier. I think they do need to be friends because they have so much of a world together outside of their marriage that it just will help them lead an easier life with the dogs, with their friend group, with the show.
I also think they should stay friends, but don't think it's not best friends. You should stay cordial. You should stay friendly. But
it's kind of like divorced parents having to co-parent children. You should be able to get along and do things together for the quote unquote children. So with your friend group, you should be able to handle events together.
Yes.
But should you go on double dates with your new partners? No, you're not besties.
I just think being best friends is unrealistic because you're not going to call Tom when something bad happens. You're not going to call Tom when you're lonely. That's what you do with a best friend, and that's what you used to do with him, but you can't do that anymore because it's too intimate for exes. But I feel so bad for her, and I understand her hurt. But I want her to completely move on because she's gonna stay hurt.
You can tell this is painful. She doesn't want to lose the best friend, but I bet down the road she realizes this isn't a good idea. It's just really hard to lose your husband and your best friend at the same time.
Yeah. So we're gonna have fun. Power to the pussy. Then we cut to LA where it's Sky Bar for boys' night. This is where Matt the bartender is. James comes through. Also, this is the same bar and the same table from that one party where James and Lala called everyone fat when Lala said it looks like no one's been working on their summer bodies. Yeah, and James also says, "Are you pregnant?" to Katie, and then he jerks off cranberry juice onto the table. So that's table. Great. Brock and Scheana are also here for boys' night.
I really forgot about Brock like ever being a part of this.
I did too. I was ready for it to just be Scheana and Scheana.
Yeah,
Like,
I was like, oh, I guess Brock would normally be included on guys' night, but in my mind, I was like, oh, Brock is Sheena's +1 to boys' night.
Yeah. Sheena's at boys' night. Yeah. So Scheana says Katie doesn't have friends. She's like 2 friends. Like, but look at Schwartz with all his friends.
We're back to the like, why would you ever want to go on this trip? But you can just see she would want to be on this trip though.
But also Christina Kelly and Lala are like quality friends. Brock and Schwartz, Brock is not a quality friend to Schwartz. Like, that's not it. No. Matt the bartender does not care about Tom Schwartz unless he's getting a paycheck.
Like fun out of convenience group, whereas like the other group is like support sisters holding hands, besties for life.
So funny. We do shots. Scheana tells them that Charlie and Raquel left the girls trip or whatever. And James is like, I know Lala called me about it. And I was like, Lala, I love that. I
was watching this, because we're obviously going to get to it, but like when we're watching this, I don't know why I just thought everyone knew that the girls were coming to boys' night because of how the girls left like Lake Havasu. And this conversation made me feel like everybody knew they were coming too, but later we'll get to it, but they're all shocked that the girls arrived.
Yes, I don't think they knew they were coming. I think they knew that they left.
I don't know why, but in my mind, I was like, yeah, everybody knows everything.
No, I think Sheena's just like, they left. See, isn't that funny? Because Charlie's really nervous, but whatever, we'll get there. Okay, so James says or feels like Lala has been super nice to Raquel, and Lala doesn't like Raquel. And if Raquel oversteps the alpha, it's a meow, and I put insert James making cat noises.
I don't think Lala's been really nice to Raquel. I think Lala has been a decent human to Raquel compared to previous seasons.
Recently. Yes. Yeah, in recent times.
Like, she's not actually a horrible human being to her anymore. Yeah.
So we cut to Lake Havasu. We're looking hot tonight. We're at BJ's. And Katie and Lala are matching. Christina Kelly again does not order alcohol. I wonder if Katie knows or if she's suspicious.
But I realized Lala's not drinking, so honestly, it's not that weird.
Sober.
I know, but when 2 non-alcoholic drinks get ordered, it doesn't raise as much of a flag.
But if I'm Katie, I'm gonna be like, can one of you get drunk with me?
Christina Kelly told them all the cast that she was on an antibiotic for like 3 months, so she couldn't drink, which is a really good excuse. I'm gonna use that if I ever get pregnant, which probably will never happen.
No, same. So Christina Kelly looks so good. I'm fucking obsessed with her. And now we're looking for cute boys, and Katie does not find a one. Because they're like, you cut to the men, and it's like country.
It's very Western, very America. This is like the middle of the country type of atmosphere, not what they're used to in LA.
They're wearing jeans and like cutoffs that are too tight. With cowboy hats and mustaches and
we had an 18 and up bar over like across the river in Illinois that we would go to when we were seniors in high school because you could get in and it was so fun, and then you would like get people to buy you drinks, and this is what it gave me that vibes, because it was Western theme and like it was an epic time, but I was like, this just feels weird.
I love this. Looked very like where I went to college. Like,
I literally pictured myself in this environment, but I'm like, I can't imagine being LA people like being transplanted into this.
I agree. Okay, so Lala, though, she sees some hot men in some bucket hats. She's like, that's my type.
She's like, not Western, I'm in.
She follows her vagina to these men, and she's like, I need to know where you guys are from. And at first I was like, what a weird way to pick someone up. But if you're both out of place in this country bar, it's like, where are you from? Mm-hmm. And so Lala's like basically flirting with them. They're from LA. She's from LA. She's like, come hang out with us. She's flirting with the guy with pretty eyes that has sunglasses inside.
She says she's nervous.
Yeah, she's nervous. Then we cut back to Sky Bar. Boys are getting fucked up. James is yelling something about limes, which I could listen to all day. The boys all want the Schwarzenator to come out. And then Raquel and Charlie are like walking up and they're going to crash. And Charlie's like, are you sure we should do this? Like, you don't want to go somewhere else?
This is like, when I realized, oh my God, the boys don't know that they're coming.
Yes, Charlie was horrified. Yeah. So they show up. James is immediately annoyed because Allie's gonna kill him.
I get this because he literally said
to
the Toms, like, this is great. I won't see Raquel. Like, I need some separation.
I love how out loud he's like, guys, night means nothing.
Which I get that. Like, if you're like,
it.
okay, boys' night, fine. Scheana was left out of girls' weekend. Like, she can come. We make one exception. But I understand kind of wanting separate gendered nights.
Also, though, can you imagine imagine you're Allie and your boyfriend's like, I'm just going out with the boys. And I'm like, okay, no exes. And then I find out he was with the ex. I would be like so livid. I'd be like, why am I sitting on my couch by myself and you're hanging out with your ex?
100%. Like, James is like, fuck, you just ruined my night.
But James knows. He's like immediately about to text Allie, like, fuck.
Like, I had no idea she was coming. Just want to let you know.
Yeah, so then we have like a weird or kind of different little cutout, where we're watching Raquel kind of hug Tom Schwartz, and we're watching Tom Sandoval stare into her soul. And it's
his smile too when she walked up, because we got like a slow-mo reaction kind of like the boys plus Scheana, and he was like, like, way too excited to see her.
Boo.
I really kind of wish this news hadn't broken before some of these episodes came, because I wonder what I would think about these reactions of Sandoval and Schwartz in this whole drama.
Immediately, if I didn't know, right? I thought about this because Raquel goes and sits next to Schwartz and hugs him. And if you don't know, you think Sandoval is like, yes, get together kind of thing. But now is he like, I can't wait to fuck her.
That's the thing is like, I used to read it as like Sandoval being hyped for his boy the way like Scheana and Sandoval talked about it when they made that list at Schwartz's apartment. And now I'm like, is this when he, like, it's kind of been semi-confirmed a little bit that Sandoval and
it was like
Raquel kissed at Coachella. And so if they've already kissed at this point, is Sandoval just being like, man, I want to get into her pants? Is that what he's thinking in his mind? And I'm like, gross.
Ew. I don't know. Either way, it's weird. But I started giggling because you were like, it's kind of like a Scheana thing. Could you imagine if it cut to Scheana and Tom and they were both making the same face, but for two totally different reasons?
Oh,
like that weird, like,
my God.
Yes, I love it. Okay, but then we get a to be continued, which is bullshit because what are we continuing?
Bravo. We're getting too many to be continueds lately. And
doesn't matter.
Those, I liked it when there was one per season, like a really dramatic fight. This did not need a to be continued.
I already can tell you what's going to happen. Nothing between Schwartz and Raquel.
To be honest, we didn't even need to see Charlie and Raquel show up to the bar. You could have just put that in next time on. And
that's if they wanted to hit. If they wanted to hit to be continued, watch Charlie and Raquel watch up and then cut to black.
Yeah, like we don't need the time we need it to be continued is when somebody's literally in the middle of screaming.
Agreed. Agreed. Okay, so let's do accepted and blocked. Who are we accepting onto our feed and who are we blocking?
Oh, this is interesting. I'm trying to pick these not with what I know now and just off the episode, by the way.
Honestly, you got to stick with the girls trip. That was 90% of this episode.
Can we do blocked first?
Yes,
I do know blocking? That. I'm blocking Lala, to be honest.
I knew it.
It is giving mean girl behavior. I can like excuse some of it, just the dynamics are different, but overall a little too much mean girl, a little too much jealousy that like Oliver did pick Raquel, or like it all happened that way. I don't love Raquel like throwing things in people's faces. I don't think that's cute at all. But Lala, come on, like you're better than this. You're grown, honey.
Agreed. I like kind of just hated all of it. I think, oh my God, I can't do that. But I honestly really did hate Schwartz this episode, per usual. But because I just have a big hate towards him.
Yeah.
I think that slip up of like, hey, Ariana, how was Vegas? Whoops, never mind. Like that was some bullshit.
Yeah.
Him telling Scheana that like we're gonna have prostitutes, that was bullshit. The magic 8 ball to me was bullshit. I truly think this man thinks like, what could be really funny for me to say on TV? And he fucking says it and it doesn't land. It doesn't land with me.
You're no Charlie.
I don't even give a fuck if he's going to sit next to Raquel at this boys' night. Like that doesn't even bother me.
That doesn't bother me either.
Truly the trying to be witty. Okay, who are you accepting? There are way more options.
I know. I don't know. Do you have yours?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
I'm gonna accept Charlie because
Ooh.
she made me laugh. She was so funny. I appreciated her sticking up for Charlie or for Raquel because I think she would stick up for anyone being ganged up on. I think she genuinely just wanted to have a fun night. And personally, I would think everyone fucking ruined the fun night if I was Charlie, but she had a fun time. She went to that and sang a Kid Rock song at karaoke. She doesn't want to go this boys' night, but she's tagging along. I just think Charlie had a good time.
You know what? This may be a shocker to some people, but I'm going to accept Scheana. I know I roasted her on the like flip-floppy behavior of like stupid trip. I'd rather be here, but it's just like funny because you're right. Like we all tell ourselves we wouldn't want to be on those trips and it sucks to not be invited. So I feel for her on being left out, but I really, really enjoy her being an actual supportive friend to Schwartz in like a building Schwartz up way, not like digging at Katie way. Like, and I think the closet clean out is a really productive, helpful thing. Like Schwartz needs help in this area, not just him being like a shitty, incapable human being. Like not everybody's good at this stuff. So like she wants to help him out, you know, get his groove back. She's going to help throw a boys' night. And you know what? That helps her distract from not being on the girls' trip. And like, how fun and like positive is this? And I feel like she's in a good groove here.
Your sentence was so long. That's why I started laughing. And I feel like you were trying to convince yourself that it was okay. Because I kept nodding my head and you just kept kind of going. Like Scheana. I was like, yep.
Scheana on this show is my Lindsay of Summer House. Like it's really hard for me to like them because personality wise and who they are is nails on a chalkboard to me. Like I can't be friends with people like Lindsay and Scheana. It just wouldn't work for me because I would be so annoyed inside my head saying stupid little things that I say on this podcast.
It is so funny. You really had to convince yourself that you're okay with
that. Tells you how I almost said how big of a person I am to pick her. Okay, Scheana. Meredith, way to hype yourself up there.
Justice. If you ever see on our Instagram Justice for Shishi, that was me. I posted that.
Yeah, that wasn't her. Me. I did say it on the podcast because she did deserve that.
Justice for Shishi. Okay, so now we have Patron by the People.
Podcast by the People.
Fuck. Someone
it's
fire
so
me.
Good. No, I enjoy it.
I'm asking to be fired.
It up because it's kind of like Toothless, Not Homeless.
Oh my God. I'm Kyle. Oh no, I'm Kyle. No, I'm Kathy, I guess.
You're Kathy.
I've worked with the homeless. I've worked with the toothless.
I've worked with the patrons. I've worked with the people.
It's all the same. Okay, so Tracy, I should have read this in the before, but Tracy said, I'm so here for this episode. Andy Cohen said this is one that has not been edited since the before news broke, and it's going to seem like it has. Yeah, it didn't seem totally like it was.
I didn't get that big hype up because once I watched it, I was like, what?
I think it just made Raquel look super stupid, per usual.
I think it gave her a little sympathy.
Super stupid.
Prior to the current drama.
Sorry, I said stupid. I'm not supposed to say the S
Sorry,
word.
the D and the S.
The D and the S word. Okay, so we got some long ones. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Sarah says, okay, you guys, I came with notes. Ooh. Let's be real. If not for Sandoval and all the Schwartz drama, this really could have been Rachel's episode. Think about it. Messy Rachel is so entertaining to watch. Being super drunk and peppy, I feel like this is a girl I would have wanted to go and have a girls' night in with. And then afterwards, when she was listening at the door, hearing the girls laugh about her, my heart would have broken because there's nothing worse than thinking you've had a great night out and really bonded with some girls, only to realize that you had been wrong and they don't feel the same way. Also, good on Lala for insisting that they were laughing with Rachel. Good on her. But anyways, my heart didn't break for Rachel because she's an audacious little twerp. And you know what that means. It's the audacity. I said audacious. Sorry, audacious.
That's okay.
But it's time for things that Rachel had the audacity to do this episode.
I told her I loved this. So like keep them coming.
This was so fun. Okay, number 1. saying she's single and the Scandival clock has officially begun.
I've heard it starts after Havasu, so we're a little gray on the timeline still. Not that that's a real defense of this fucking affair, but
I read a tweet of Sandoval's face looking evil at the end when he did, and it was like, imagine this is your face when you want to, or it was something like, this is the face of a man that's gonna fuck you in a week. Like, in case you see that.
I hope we get answers on the reunion, like clear-cut answers.
So number 2, thank God you don't have a man to like fucking have around, and being dead set serious the whole time. Like, legit from the preview, I thought we were going to get an LOL JK at the end, but no.
That's the problem, is you gotta at least play it off like a joke. Yeah. Every joke is rooted in truth, unfortunately, but like, play it off. This could have been a good line.
Look, I would have said this to my friends, but like, I wouldn't have said it to Lala.
But you're friends with people close enough. Like, the relationship between Rachel and Lala is not that to say that as a joke.
But it's funny. So 3, saying she understood where Lala was coming from when she doesn't, because she's been boinking Sandoval. Allegedly almost boinking Sandoval. Okay, 4, dissing Lala in the confessional about respecting relationships. I might be very wrong, so please correct me, but I thought she and James weren't exclusive and he and Lala hooked up. I might be very wrong about it, but that's what I thought. I think it's uncertain. I
don't know. Either way, I think it does hurt even if they're not exclusive, because of Raquel's insecurity about Lala.
And I think she'd probably ask James, and Lala and James both denied this for a long time. Which I think hurt. Also, Rachel has said that her and James weren't dating until they moved in together, but also, time is just destruction.
Emotions don't hurt, whether the technicalities are true or not.
It can still hurt.
Yeah.
Okay. 5, being mad about the whole James thing. It's been 6 years. The horse is dead. No, I will disagree with this, because she just found out. I understand she can't like dwell on it as much. Yeah, but she did. This is new for her.
I understand her bringing it up sometimes, but I think in some arguments it's not. Yeah, I kind of have a feeling she's going to use this all season, and that's going to really piss me off.
Yeah. Number 6, calling Lala a hypocrite. Side-eye emoji. Yeah, I mean, Lala did sleep with a married man. I mean,
I don't think it's hypocritical anymore because of the growth. Like, are you never allowed to comment on things that you made similar mistakes on? No, well, then I can't have a fucking podcast. Like, I can't have this podcast at all.
It wasn't right when Lala did it, but Lala doesn't do it anymore, right? Yes. She like knows better. Okay, number 7, calling herself single. Bitch, be a mistress right now. You right. Okay, number 8. I'm trying to figure out my life, she says, sobbing. Now, this is all very valid, but you don't do that by boinking Sandoval.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah. Agreed. Like, I understand her struggles, but that doesn't mean this side of it is okay to do all those terrible things.
Number 9, having a panic attack. The fuck was that all about? Oh, I thought this was kind of real. I was like,
I think it's real. For someone who does have a lot of anxiety over here, that sucks. And to do it on camera, like at one point, Christina Kelly was like, hey, maybe we should give her some space. And I think she was about to push Raquel out of the car when they had stopped to get this off camera. And I think that was really commendable.
Yeah, you ever have a panic attack? That shit's scary. I thought I was
I don't want that shit recorded.
I thought I was dying in mine. So yeah, this shit's scary.
I'm gonna cross that one off your audacity list.
Even if it was over nothing, it does not matter. Once your brain gets taken, it's done.
Yeah. Once the spiral starts going, you're on that little slide and you go down, 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 down.
Yes. So number 10, calling Lala a hypocrite for the 3rd time. Yeah, over it. Number 11, getting all high and mighty with the girls when she was leaving. Like, bye, Felicia.
Oh, she had the biggest backbone. But she like can't say things with confidence. She's like so scared to talk, which is not that Lala, funny. But it's like...
You're just mad that Oliver picked me over you. It was just like,
it just is funny because then juxtaposed with like Lala, who's so fucking quippy and like has good comebacks. She's never gonna be good against Lala.
No, absolutely not. Sarah says, now I can't put Rachel getting upset over James's behavior on the audacity list because that kind of shit is legit triggering. So I can put that aside. She's still a hoe though. But you know who else a hoe? Things that Tom Sandoval had the audacity to do this episode. Ooh. 1, the lightning bolt necklace. He wore it. We saw it. He wore it and his outfit was terrible. Yes, his outfit was terrible per always.
We did chat about this at the beginning.
We talked about the lightning bolt. I still think it's gross. Agreed. Don't get it twisted. I hate this.
I hate the combo of the two, but if this is the beginning of him just wearing one, I think it's gross even then.
The minute she puts one on, I'm out. I'm done. Number 2. Oh my God, you guys, did you see the lightning bolt earrings? He was wearing a fucking lightning bolt earring too in this scene with that hideous red jumper. I nearly lost my shit.
Gross. Even if this has nothing to do with Raquel, how into yourself do you have to be to like love this lightning bolt logo thing so much you're gonna wear it all the time?
He's just a big Harry Potter fan. He just wants to be a wizard. Okay, number 3, the flashback scene with Greg, the lightning bolt necklace. It's all, I really think we have to wait for Raquel to wear it.
Yeah, that's a real big trigger sign.
And number 4, the lightning bolt necklace at guys' night. We gotta wait. You gotta wait. We gotta see where Raquel is. Anyway, she says, also, I noticed that Tom was not wearing the lightning bolt stuff in the scene with Ariana. Possibly coincidental, but Easter egg hunt continues. Oh, interesting. I did not notice. Other notes. Lala's maturity at the beginning of the episode impressed me. I'd accept her for that. Lala at the maturity.
Well, I actually blocked Lala, so sorry.
Where Lala was like, I accepted that she was like,
she wanted to stop the conversation.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. The bit with Christina Kelly and Rachel's nightlight when she said, I only know one other person who has this galaxy light, and it's my brain autofilled, and it was like, oh my fucking God, it's Sandoval. Don't tell me it's Sandoval.
I thought a similar thing.
Oh, you thought instead of saying like a 3-year-old, she's gonna be like, it's Tom Sandoval.
Or like,
and it's one of those lights they touch and it lights up to let them.
Yeah, like think about last season, their like acid trip, and they had like the weird ass lights.
That was so weird. Yeah,
I thought she was gonna say the only other person who would have this is Tom Sandoval.
That's funny. Okay, she finished a 3-year-old girl. My brain calmed right the fuck down. But can you imagine? What do we think about Schwartz and his apparent reluctance to let go of stuff in his weird timeline for moving on? Is he in some kind of denial, or is he trying to be respectful of Katie and or to save face by not getting out of the way or getting out there right away? I think he's kind of in denial. I think he's kind of coping the way.
I think it's holding on to the best friend thing.
Yeah. I think both him and Katie are trying to find this new normal that's just like not normal,
without it being dramatic and terrible.
Yeah. Rachel's pit stains to the car or in the car to Lake Havasu when she was calming down from the panic attack. I saw him. See, those things are scary. She got sweat stains. Yeah, dude. It was also hot.
There's nothing worse than the fear sweats though, too.
Yeah, dude. James was enjoyable as always. I don't know when he's not. Charlie was enjoyable until she started dissing people. I know she's Team Ariana, but right now she's dead to me. Absolutely not. I'm obsessed with her. Okay, another question. Do you think Sandoval knew Rachel was going to crash guys' night, and do you think he invited her? Also, James's reaction in his confessional was funny. Poor boy. Yeah,
poor dude. I think Sandoval looks shocked to see her.
I do too. I don't think the affair has started yet. I know I don't go back and forth. I go back and forth all the time, but more stuff keeps coming out. I don't think it has started. I think
the kiss happened, but and the interest is there, but I don't think they're sleeping together yet.
Yes, and this didn't look like a man who knew she was coming.
I agree.
He looked possessed. Okay, so then we have Tyranny. Tyranny said, do we know that the official clock began? What if it was the weekend? I could totally see it happening. Ariana at home grieving, Rachel thinking I'm high off making out with another married man yesterday, and her way to get back at James because of Lala. Don't get me wrong, I'm not justifying the behavior, just trying to come up with any sort of reason to explain why and how it happened. Sandoval would fuck anything with a pulse that shows him any interest because he thinks he's God's gift. I watch What Happens Live, and Katie kind of implied that it could have been.
I think it happens right around here.
Right
like
after.
This current scenario of Ariana grieving, Raquel not liking the girls, and in a messy situation with her dating life. I think this is the exact, everything that's teed up for this affair to start.
It's the perfect storm, truly, for this to happen. Okay, Tierney also says, can I just say for the zillionth time, Sandoval is a scumbag, especially because he and his longtime girlfriend just put their dog down. Like, be home with your grieving girlfriend and grieve yourself. Charlotte was your dog for 9 years too. Ooh,
that's a really good point.
Wow.
I never really thought about that with the dog.
I didn't either.
Because we knew, we have heard that Sandoval said, like, oh, because of her mental health surrounding all these issues. I never really thought about, like, if she was grieving about this dog, why weren't you there grieving with her? Let alone, why weren't you grieving?
Okay, I thought maybe he had to film, right? So he's like, he has to go to Schwartz and Sandy's and he has to do this one guy's night, right? Because that's the only time he was really away.
I don't know about the guy's night. I don't think he'd be forced to do that, but the Tom Tom stuff I could get.
But like he's I'm just gonna go
film.
I'm gonna go film Ariana. Yeah. And she maybe needed some space to herself. I don't know. But yeah, why the fuck isn't he grieving?
Because he's a fucking narcissist.
Yeah, it's weird. Okay, good point. Way to give me that. Okay, Tierney says,
this is why I love podcasts by the people, because they just I need all these takes that we don't catch.
Tierney says, I also wanted to punch Charlie in the moment, and I need to remind myself that she's Team Ariana now, but still. It is so funny. I'm the only one. It's like when people hate on James, I get it, but I have to differ. I thought it was so funny.
I need some like lighthearted, really doesn't mean much interviews. She's the Paige. Paige gives me it in Summer House. Charlie's giving me it in Vanderpump.
Yeah, it's good.
I just need it.
I just need it. Okay, next thought by Tierney. I love Lala, but not a fan of the superiority that she seemed to have. I get she's sober and a completely different headspace, but she was even a year ago. But if she was trying to have a big sister moment, she could have handled it a little differently. Her tone made it like a superiority thing, even though that wasn't the intent. I also suffer from that, so I'm aware of when it happens, but I will say this too, after what we know now, Lala, do your thing, burn Rachel and scum Duvall to the ground. Yes, I also thought it was hard to watch, but again, we have tainted eyes. We're really trying to watch it without tainted eyes. I know
what really gave me Lala the blocking is that it got worse and worse as the episode went on, and that's what I didn't like.
I think it's kind of the same thing with, not as bad. Summer House was awful. We relived the same drama 18 times. This was kind of like can we get mad at Raquel for something else? Like it's not even that
the
big
crime
a deal.
Wasn't worth the punishment.
It wasn't worth
the time. Out with this stupid Oliver in Vegas. Come on.
Just who the hell cares about this? Anyway, Tierney says, can we talk about how awesome Katie beating the shit out of the piñata was? I loved it. Katie, Christina, Kelly, and Lala are the new witches of WeHo, and I'm here for it. But you can't get rid of Stassi. She's the OG witch. Yes, I loved the beating of the piñata.
Me too.
It was so fun. I thought opening it up was great. And I love Christina Kelly, period. She says, I need this reunion like tomorrow. Andy did address the whole Raquel Scheana restraining order as best as he could by saying, don't worry, we have it covered. And it better be Scheana over Zoom.
I was about to say, don't tell me you have it covered unless you have Rachel in person.
And don't do a separate interview with her. She needs to be in front of everyone.
Everyone but Scheana.
Tarred and feathered for her crimes. No, that's harsh. But you know what I mean, in the middle of the square.
I hope her outfit looks terrible.
I hope she wears her puffy sleeves again.
I want something on that level. I even tried to be a nice person when she wore that stupid reunion outfit.
I did too.
I tried to be a bigger person.
I was going to bat for her and I'm pissed about it. So, last thought by Tierney. What is everyone's thoughts on what that will look like? I'm thinking, the reunion. So we kind of did it, but she says, I'm thinking 2 one-on-one interviews with Andy and Rachel, and then another with Andy and Scheana, but both will be on Zoom for the whole show. Oh, you think they're both? Because then they can like kick them out of the when the
Each
other one
one,
comes
it's easier to
in.
kick each party out for the other's
Yeah. Then
conversations.
have one. No, Raquel better be
That's
in person. I'm
true.
gonna.
I want
But
it. This is how I want it to be filmed. I want everything filmed with the whole cast minus Scheana with Raquel there. Then at the very end, Raquel leaves. Scheana on Zoom comes in and does the Katie stuff.
I think it's interesting that Tierney said 2 one-on-one interviews because I also kind of think he's gonna do so for Potomac. What happened was, and this was different because Robin came out with a bunch of shit she was hiding after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
But what happened was he then interviewed her and put that at the end.
Oh,
And I was like, but I want everyone to kill Robin for her sins, right?
yeah.
So I don't want the interview only. I need there to be
Agreed.
something else. Okay, last
If
oh
she's
go.
on Zoom, I'm gonna fucking lose it.
I
If
know.
Raquel.
I know. Last podcast by the people is Chrissy. Chrissy says, I decided not to Sandoval egg hunt today while watching the episode. Instead, I buried my hatred for bitch ass Tom for as long as I could to try and remain objective. Thank you. We kind of are too. We're trying. We're trying.
I'll have
Okay.
sidebar comments, but I don't want to comment on the episode through the lens. I just want to add in commentary of like, wow, thank God this didn't happen because
And
of
if you
XYZ.
if we do, like I know I did at one point, I'm gonna say like I know it's tainted. I know I would feel
Yes. I'm
differently.
gonna try and let you know
Yeah.
when I'm not being objective.
Yeah. Okay, so Katie, Kristen, and Lala mean girled the hell out of Rachel. I'm not a fan. I
Yeah.
am much like Rachel when drinking, hence sobriety. And it always sucked when people were having, or you were quote unquote having fun with, talked about you behind your back, and the way they were friendly with her after confronting her. Why did they have to bring it up again? Yeah, it was hard. It was hard to watch, like weirdly hard. Even through the tainted eyes, I was
Yeah.
like, "Ooh,
I felt myself
hard."
feeling bad for Raquel all
Yeah.
episode because at this point it is separate from the Sandoval cheating. Like this is a separate
Issue.
environment situation. Yeah, an issue that like I overall and to this day, present day Meredith do feel bad for her in this, in a vacuum situation, just this standalone moment. But as her as a whole human being, I don't feel bad for her at all.
Yeah, it was definitely hard. It's always hard to watch the Mean Girls, and it's hard to watch.
I think the age difference is a huge
It's
is like
hard.
very well seen here. Of
Yeah,
she's young and figuring out her life and making mistakes and all those girls got to do that.
agreed.
Like
But
let her do that
yeah, it was the same
with
thing with
boundaries of
James. It was
don't
the
be a horrible
same
human
thing with
being.
James, where it was like, stop getting on this 23-year-old because
They
when you were
held them to
23.
their standard of where they were at.
Yes. Okay. So Chrissy also says Charlie's my fave. She says what we're all thinking. Thank
Yeah.
God someone else likes Charlie. We're gonna get canceled for supporting Charlie.
I
Okay.
know.
Scheana, having a friend moment with Sandy. Awesome. Did she?
I think they meant Schwartz.
Either way. Scheana making him feel like crap by telling, oh yeah, it is Schwartz. Scheana making him feel like crap by telling him girls' night is a divorce party. So Scheana, I just can't. The personal shopper was the best thing Sandy could have done at this point in his life, or Schwartz. Yeah, no, Sheena's great. Scheana, you know what? She is consistent.
That
We
is
are
true.
never shocked by what Scheana does.
That is
She
true.
stays in her lane. Okay.
No, she does not stay in her lane, but
that's her lane, is not staying in her lane.
That's true.
Right?
She's
That's
consistently
she's
being
consistently
Scheana season after season.
all the time. She's reliable. Chrissy says, and I couldn't hold the annoyance any longer because Ariana finally left the house after losing Charlotte and was opening up to her friends and being all sad. And then Tom starts talking about guys' night because that's more important than being with your partner who is still heartbroken. Ugh. Well, remember when he went to Vegas to play with construction toys?
That being on TikTok as like the time Ariana should have broken up with him. I agree.
Her dad had just died. It was her birthday. She was sad, and his response was, "And I'm always gonna be here." But he said he like rented construction trucks and stuffs. Okay, last thought by Chrissy. I cannot wait for next week. TikTok and Reddit are telling me that this is the night everyone started. I can't, or this is the night everything started. I can't wait to see some more inappropriate gestures and see what's to come. So this is the night. So boys' night is like it. This is it.
I don't know.
I'm not surprised if this is it, but also if it starts here, do we think any of production caught any crazy ass things that like
that's what a lot of people are saying is how did you not catch anything? Because like how did you not catch anything on a mic without a camera is what I'm thinking.
Yeah,
like,
and
they were so good if nothing is caught on camera. Like, yeah, there's gonna be glances and probably looks, but like you can pass those off type of things that they thought, but no audio, no sketchy audio.
You're telling me when we went out, they like were able to turn off their mics and meet up in the bathroom without anyone noticing?
Or they just avoided it. Like they were able to kind of withhold themselves so long until truly all production stuff was done.
I mean,
like they were able to live a double
know.
life and it didn't bleed over.
I don't know. But this will be wild if we watch it kind of happen. If this is the night, I'm very excited.
Wow.
Yay. This was a good episode. This whole season, I will always say that about usually I'm fucking pissed.
I feel like they're
going
to be long ones from here on out because there's constantly going to be news. It's going to be reflecting on the present news with what we're seeing in the Easter eggs. And I'm excited to break it down. And I really enjoy people sharing their opinions and thoughts because we can't catch everything, especially with the present day stuff.
I'll keep sharing all the shit on Instagram that I can find. I'm going back to the airport tomorrow, so I'm just waiting for another scandal to break because I can't go to the airport without
chaos raining down.
But do all the things. Please leave us a 5-star review. Please join our Patreon. Please follow us on Instagram. Two of those things are free.
Yeah.
2 of those things take 1 second. So like literally just follow our
hop
Instagram
on the bandwagon.
That's the best one. Yeah. But yay, thanks
for joining. Bye.